Welcome back to another episode of Across the Bifrost, coming to you live from the leafy hamlet of Bexley, UK.
Oh, yeah. We were there yesterday, weren't we?
This is Dr. Norbert, and you are?
Jamie.
Hello, Jamie. Yes,
Hello.
We were at a tournament in Bexley, the famous Throwing Dice podcast tournament.
Yeah, if anybody came to the Mutant Weekender and enjoyed the cute little comic books you all got on arrival, we stole that idea from Throwing Dice Protocol. They do that at their events, and they encourage people to trade comic books so that you get the comics that you like. And so they had their second event yesterday, and it was great.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was a great hall. The hall was a little cold at first, but then they got the heat going, so then it was good. Other than that, it ran really smoothly, and it was very comfortable and lots of space. We got 4 good games in and like 32 players. It was fun.
Yeah, good turnout too. There were some players there that I hadn't seen before. Some players, it was their first ever event. That was fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was good. Mine and Hannah's Danger Room table won another award.
I know.
Oh,
award-winning
table. Best table. Twice we've won it. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that. It was beautiful. Yeah, it's a very good event. They're going to throw a third one at some point. So yeah, look out for Throwing Dice Protocol on Facebook. You can follow them, and that's where they'll put the details.
Nice one. Other events coming up, March 7th through 9th. Don't miss the Belgian Masters, the only 3-day American-style convention in Europe. That's happening in Leopoldsburg, Belgium. Then in May 17th to 18th, the narrative of the Mutant Weekender continues with the Extinction Protocol. Extinction Agenda. That's May 17th through 18th in London. And I've moving on to June, the first weekend of June, second, 8th through 9th, right?
Yes.
Okay, 8th through 9th in Malmo, Sweden is the next Multiverse of Malmo tournament, which happens in a microbrewery with barbecued food. Highly recommend that one. And I'm going to add now one last event to the calendar. Our very own official MCP GT is happening in London. Yes.
What's a GT?
GT, Gran Turismo. Grand
Turismo.
Grand Tournament.
Grand Theft. Yes, it's the air quotes official, right? It's AMG's like official Grand Tournament thingy. Whatever that means. But we're running one in London.
Yes.
And there'll be exclusive prizes that you can only get at GTs, usually.
Yep. In fact, they're updating the prizes from last year, so there's going to be new stuff for people to check out. And we're doing it at Dark Sphere, so you kind of know the venue already from the Mutant Weekenders. You know the terrain that we can supply, and so we hope people will come down and give the first London GT a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it for big events. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was mid-drinking. It was your segment, so I just
trying to.
Yes. Events, good. Be there. Go to events.
2 events. It's the best next thing to do in MCP after picking it up to play for yourself.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, tonight. Boop, 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 boop.
It's happened. Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Oh, Jamie.
Yeah.
They've just been readjusted. They're just,
I'm sad about this. We'll get into it, but yeah, I celebrated and then I was sad. And now I'm kind of, I'm coming to terms with it. It's like the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah. We're of course referring to the recent update of characters that came out by Atomic Mass Games this past Friday. So as a time of recording, so that means the 7th of February is when these came out, if you haven't heard about them already. Some pretty significant changes. I would say this is like a little, not quite emergency, but kind of a ad hoc set of changes to deal with some things that have been a little bit too much out of balance.
Yes, a readjustment, perfectly balanced as all things should be.
So we're going to go through those changes here tonight so everybody can be up to date and understand how the game is going to be played. And these changes, although they were released on the 7th, they don't go live until, meaning like you shouldn't play them in official events until the 14th of February, which is when this should be releasing as well. So very timely. Okay. Yes. So the changes, I'm going to very briefly give people a heads up. The changes are for Thanos, Thor 2, and Hellfire Club, amongst some other things. So we're going to go through those pretty much in that order. So let us start with Thanos. Now, Jarvis's protocol, of course, is our go-to tool to help us play the game, make it much easier and much simpler. And if you go to the Jarvis's protocol channel in the fan server, he made a very convenient post on the 7th of February listing all the different changes, even some of the stealth changes that were made to all the different cards and things. And they've also been updated into the app itself as well. But we're go there if you want to just see the real quick bulleted list of everything that came out.
I bloody love Jarvis protocol. Can we talk about that for a second? I bloody love it.
Yeah.
Good shit. Everyone, some new players sort of don't immediately jump on this, or like me, they use Cerebro. Cerebro is also very good, but I'm afraid Jarvis protocol is just a bit better and is very up to date and just works nicely. If you are getting into MCP, get the Jarvis protocol app, make an account, and just browse all the characters on there. Use it to build your rosters. They've now got a chess clock on there as well. So if you come to any of our events, anyway, we run chess clocks, so you don't even need to buy a chess clock anymore. You just use the app. This really is the number one place to manage your MCP rosters, to be honest. And I play other games like Shatterpoint and Middle Earth, and they don't have anything nearly as good as this for apps. So Jarvis Protocol is really doing a service for MCP, so you should be using that. Yep.
And he doesn't pay us to say these sorts of things, by the way, but he does accept Patreon and donations. So when you go into the app, it'll explain how to do that if you so inclined to help him out.
Yes.
Okay, so Thanos I'm going to do the list now, okay? So, number 1, the throw special rule from his strike triggers on wild hit instead of wild only. Okay, So he had a strike, which was range 2, 6 dice, that's all the same. It's a builder, that's all the same. But instead of it just being a wild to get the throw, now you have to do wild hit, so a little bit harder.
Yes, which I don't do dice maths, but I believe this is something like it went from 60% chance to get the throw to about 40%, I think.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but it's a bit less likely, basically. Less than half a chance.
Incidentally, Jarvis's protocol has a dice calculator, so you can find those percentages out if you go put that information.
This podcast is brought to you by Jarvis Protocol.
Seriously. Okay, so that's something, okay, but it continues. And I think this is the big one. So he has a leadership called Death's Agenda, which is Black Order affiliated. And in the past, you could, so basically the ability, the leadership ability was when an enemy character was KO'd, the Thanos' player would score 1 VP. And that worked on grunts. And so now they've changed it so that it's a non-grunt character that's KO'd, which I think makes load of sense. I mean, it's just crazy that, a cheesy little grunt could grant a VP like that.
Yeah, for sure. Isn't it funny how we never really noticed it either? I didn't really notice that much because no one was playing Black Order. Really. I haven't seen Black Order in a long time. They were playing Thanos in, Cabal and other places. So, funny. But on to the next change. We might see a lot more Black Order now.
Yeah. So, apparently this effect is now the same on the injured side as on the healthy side.
Yeah, his leadership used to change when Thanos was injured. I don't know what to, but it was considered less good. Overall, I think this is probably a buff to the leadership.
I agree. I mean, if it's on both sides now, it's a really good leadership. I mean, they're all about KOing. It's it's quintessential, the original and probably quintessential attrition type of play style.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, this doesn't... Let's talk about the leadership real quick. I mean, a VP per KO really is only going to equate to, between 3 and 6, maybe 7 VP a game. Well, not 7 VP a game, because if you table your opponent VPs, you don't care anyway. If you table... For anyone who doesn't know, actually, if your final model is KO'd, it doesn't matter what's happening, what the score is, nothing happens. The game immediately ends and you win. By the time you're KO in that many characters, you probably don't care about VP. But so this leadership is going to equate to let's say 3 or 4 VP a game, which is fine,
Yeah, that's a good point. It kind of keeps them in it when they're focused on attrition rather than trying to score points through extracts and things like that. So which is the idea. You want to be just ahead so that the other player doesn't win by points before you have a chance to really knock out as many characters as possible, which is really what you're going for.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's actually pretty good. Now, there's a second half of it now, and this is a big change. It says, additionally, This character may use superpowers and reactive superpowers of Infinity Gems without paying the power cost. Okay, so you might be saying to yourself, well, that's what he does all the time now. I mean, what's changed? Well, what's changed is it only happens if he's affiliated in Black Order because it's now part of the leadership, which is attached to Black Order.
Yes. So this is enormous. Thanos could be splashed anywhere and take the gems and use them for free. So you kind of got the same Thanos experience everywhere. Now you're only going to get that Thanos experience in Black Order, which is cool. I like it because I like seeing affiliated teams on the table. But the knock-on effects for this are huge. I don't think we're going to see Thanos really anywhere else. I'm not going to go as extreme as everyone else is, which is you'll never see Thanos again. I don't think that's true. And there are smarter people than us that are currently trying to figure out how to make Thanos work elsewhere. Like, for example, he could work under Steve 1 Avengers, where all of his superpowers are one less. The first superpower used. So you could take Thanos with a power gem, so he gets a bunch of power, and then he can use his gems, for cheaper under Steve. So there are people currently trying to figure out what might work and what might make sense everywhere else. But one thing's for sure, the only way you're going to get the old Thanos vibe back now is going to be when you play Black Order.
Yeah, exactly that. Which, I mean, I think is the ultimate point. I think the fact that he was splashed so readily everywhere was the thing that was causing a lot of the problems. I mean, right now, Cabal, Red Skull 3, and him were a really unique combination that did quite a bit of damage. And also did so in a very tall list, meaning very few characters, so they always had priority for the most part. And that just led to a lot of probably unintended consequences of having him in the game.
Yeah, I think 3-wide lists are a problem and will continue to be a problem because, like you say, they have so much priority control. They can murder so much and not suffer the consequences, really. So when you have Thanos, who's just a completely stacked character, as he should be, he's going to be 6 to 8 threat of just power. Add in Zemo, who's the most overstated 3-threat killer in the game, and then Red Skull, who is an incredible leader and model in his own right. It's just too much power packed into 3 models. So this is combating that. I'm surprised we didn't get any kind of Baron Zemo change. I guess they don't see him as the problem here. They see Thanos as the problem. So yeah, this puts a nail in that coffin.
Yeah, very much so. So I mean, he gets to use these gems for free when he's in affiliation, but he tends to have a lot of power. But outside of affiliation, now he has to start paying for them.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking, like, for instance, the Mind Gem costs 2 power. Space Gem also costs 2 power. It's significant. It starts adding up.
Yeah, and each gem gives you 1 power when you have it attached. So yeah,
right.
they're not necessarily funding themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The next big change happened with Cosmic Portal. Now, in the past, you could choose an allied character or enemy character within 4 of Thanos, and then you could place that character within 2 of its current position, using it only once per turn. It's now changed where you can only choose another allied character to move around. You can't choose an enemy. And so this is what this does is help limit the amount of kidnapping that he can do, right?
Yes. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, you can. It was horrible, and I won't go into detail, but basically, Thanos, if you just start the game on your deploy line, if you dare move a character off your deploy line, Thanos can space stone himself, move once, cosmic portal you in, mind gem you towards him, and then punch you back towards his team. That was the Thanos kidnap, and it was horrific because it basically meant that if you even started to play the game against him, he would just take a model and clear it off the table by round 2. The most feels bad of all feels bad I've seen in MCP. So yeah, this change means he can no longer do that. He also can't rearrange the board like he used to. A classic Thanos turn usually is, he waits till the end of the round when everyone's sat on secures, and he just activates, moves everybody off. It just swings the VPs massively because no one's standing where they wanted to stand. And that was his whole shtick. So that's now gone. Which feels harsh. I'm going to say it. It feels quite harsh. Yeah, I'm a big anti-Thanos guy because it was feels bad. But I did always like that, it's Thanos in the comics. Thanos is terrifying, right? And when Thanos activated MCP, apart from the round 1 kidnap, which I think is just rude and totally not intended and not fun, Apart from that, every other round when he activates and just kind of rearranges the board, I always thought it was kind of cool because it's Thanos and he is 8 threat and he does have 2 Infinity Gems. Like, it kind of made thematic sense to me.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, I feel like there could have been other ways they could have dealt with this kidnap. Maybe make Cosmic Portal range 3 instead of 4, and then it's still terrifying. Still feels like Thanos for the rest of the game, but they can't kidnap you round 1. But I don't know. I'm no designer, but yeah, I think this feels harsh. He can only move allies now.
He can only move allies with his Cosmic Portal ability. Keep in mind, he's got the 2 gems that he commonly comes with is Mind Space, like you mentioned. The Mind Gem moves an enemy character within 3 short.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Space Gem is either himself or another allied character within 3 and places it within 2. So that's interesting, Jamie, actually, that the Cosmic Portal is range 4 instead of range 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, hey, I'm no Thanos player. It takes a lot of skill and intelligence to play Thanos. I've deliberately avoided him. Did you play much Thanos?
No.
For the same reason. Bit scared of how big brain it is.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like tall lists. I'm not that good at a game, so that I need some more characters to help salvage my situation.
Exactly. Yeah. So caveat any of our opinions because we're too scared to play Thanos. But yeah, I think this seems like the hardest part. The hardest hit he's taken is Cosmic Portal not affecting enemies. So. But he's now just a huge support piece because he can move his allies around, and Death's Decree's gotten a buff, which I'm sure you're about to move on to.
Yeah, but let's finish up with the. Okay. Let's go continue with him. There's another aspect to him, but we'll save it for later. So the other thing that got changed was Death's Decree. So Death's Decree was when another allied character within 4 of him wants to make an attack. He could use a superpower, which costs 2 power. And if the attacker was healthy, he could get 2 extra dice to the attack roll. If he was injured, you get 4 extra dice to the attack roll. Now, I'm going to read the language because this is the key part about it, which is when another allied character within 4 of this character makes an attack, during the create attack dice pool step, this character can use the superpower. In the before this, it was upon targeting. So the moment you targeted an enemy, you had to decide to use this. Now, why that's problematic is that when you target certain characters, like Loki 1, Loki 1 can trickster away. And if you're not in range anymore to the attack, then the attack doesn't go off, but all the power you spent up to that point still gets spent. Mm-hmm. And so you basically blew Death's Decree on something that just wouldn't happen. And so this is a little bit of a buff now. This is basically saying, look, you can target them if they're still able to be attacked. That's when you start to create the dice pool, how many dice you're going to actually attack with, and that's when you can cast this spell or superpower and add the extra dice to it. So this is actually good for Black Order.
Yeah, this is a buff. This is essentially saying, once you know all the information, you know that your attack is definitely happening, then you can decide to pay 2 for Death's Decree, which is good.
And the very last change on his card, he's got a new innate superpower called Peerless. This is a brand new superpower that they added into the game. I forget the exact wording of the ability, but basically it is you can't. And I want to ask you this, Jamie. Actually, it's you can't have 2 characters with the Peerless keyword on them in the same squad.
Yes.
Is that correct? It's not that you can have them in your roster. It's just you can't have them on the table together. Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah. So we only have 1 model right now with Peerless, so that's Thanos. So that's it's alluding to more models, maybe new models coming out that are going to get it. Maybe old models will have it added to them. I mean, I can just see this being something like maybe Dormammu gets it, so that you can't have Dormammu and Thanos in the same list. I guess makes sense. I think it's thematic. It's more of a thematic thing. It seems to be like, well, Thanos isn't going to be bossed around by Dormammu, right?
Yeah. Do you know of double kaijus being an issue though? Like I imagine these are going to be reserved for big characters.
Yeah, I've not seen that. Like I don't know how many lists bring Thanos and then like another 6. I mean, maybe you can take Thanos. Maybe there's a Thanos Hulk Captain America thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, this is yet to be seen, right? We're still just conspiracy right now. We don't know what Peerless is for, what they're preparing it for, but yeah,
I guess the point I'm trying to make though is that we haven't needed this to try to solve a problem in the current game.
Yeah, that's correct.
Would you agree with that statement?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but it is there, yeah, and they future-proofed it, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll mention the last bit now, and then we can talk a bit about what the ramifications are for the entire game with this. The last bit is that the Infinity Gem of the Reality Gem also got adjusted. It's now a reactive power instead of an innate power, and it costs 1. So basically, it goes from being free, always on, now that you have to pay power for it to work. And if you didn't know, what it does is it allows you to turn a skull result into a crit result.
Yes.
And the difference is that whereas a lot of these similar things like on Malekith and on Domino, they've been cleaned up to specify that it's only like the first time you roll dice, basically. If you get a skull there, then you can turn that one into a crit. This one in the old days used to be able to turn it into a crit at any point during your timing sequence. So if you rolled it off of a crit, or if you re-rolled somehow and got a skull, you could turn it at that point into a crit. And that's no longer the case anymore. It has to just work the first time that you roll dice if you get a skull at that point. And apparently, it also doesn't work with interact rolls anymore. I didn't realize that it helps you with interact rolls.
Yeah, it helps with pay to flips and scrolls and stuff. Yeah. That was beautifully explained, I think, Norbert. I've heard that explained by 3 different people now, and it still confuses me a lot. So I just want to sum it up for the real dummies out there like me who really need to know how this works now. Reality Gem now works the same as Domino.
Yes.
And a lot of people, and Malekith as well, sorry. A lot of people understand those characters. So yeah, you basically, you roll your dice before your crits, you go, oh, that's a skull, you pay a power, it becomes a crit.
Yeah. So it is definitely a nerf. It's a nerf insofar as it's not as flexible as it once was, and costs you 1 power now, whereas before it didn't.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I think Red Skull 3's leadership is the same thing, right? You can only flip the skull into a crit if at the first roll of the dice.
Not after you pop crits. Yeah, I believe that's the same. It's also I've mentioned that you can't, if a recalibration matrix happens once you've done this ability, that skull stays there because you can't re-roll skulls, but because you've paid for it to be a crit, it will still be a crit. So if you recal, that skull will stick around, so you start with basically a success.
Oh, that's handy. Okay. Interesting.
Because it treats it as a crit, it doesn't turn it into a crit. So dice stays as a skull on the table, and skulls can't be modified. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, who else this affects though? This gem. So it's not only Thanos who used to use it sometimes. It used to be Senior Thanos, right? So it'd be space
reality. Yeah.
Yeah. And just to remind everybody, the space gem is, because I never remember, is the one where you can move himself or another allied character, so not enemies.
9% of the time he moves himself.
Okay.
That's most of the time.
But Corvus used to always use this gem as well.
Yeah. Poor Corvus has been hit with a stray bullet here, I think. I don't think he had anything coming. And they were like, Thanos, get him! And just ricocheted into Corvus. He's like, hey, I was using the reality gem perfectly fine. So yeah, he's now been hit by this, unfortunately. So yeah, I think that the general setup you'll see now in Black Order will be Thanos with space and mind. So Miss Thanos, mind space Thanos, and Corvus with reality. And now Corvus has to pay for it, which is an issue. But that's what I think we're most likely to see.
Yeah. Now, there is some speculation that some of the other characters will get a little buff in consequence of this. Probably, if that's going to happen, it'll be part of like a more general character update sweep.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like in the September timeframe, if history says gives us any guide. But let's talk about this now from the point of view of what the game is now. How do you feel this collective set of changes alters Thanos and as a splash, and also the Black Order?
Yeah, so I've gone against a lot of Thanos. My time in the TTS finals last year, I had to show some weird like Malekith in Hellfire tech that was built purely to go against Thanos. So yeah, it's been something that people have had to build around for a long time now. So I'm very glad it's over. I was celebrating, and I posted a GIF of Thanos on his farm, from Endgame, and was like, okay, Thanos, rest now, your work here is done. And I realized I was kind of sad. So I'm actually a little bit sad about it because, I quite liked Thanos being the thing that was beating me up. Just like, it feels quite thematic, if you go to an MCP table and Thanos rocks up and rips your team in half, I'm like, yeah, cool. It's like the comics that I read. So I'm a bit sad about that. But that aside, I think this change has had to happen for a long time. People have been screaming about Thanos being powerful for a while. And now we get to see Black Order, which I think is cool. I've always liked Black Order. I don't mind them being the team that can kind of kidnap me. And they've got that mothership card, which is absolutely terrifying. And Blood to Spare is a horrific card to play against. So I like that he hopefully still has a home in Black Order. And I would hope that, like you say, this change kind of encourages AMG to look at the other members of Black Order. Because right now it's Thanos, Corvus, Proxima are great. And the rest of them absolutely suck. I'm sorry. They're not good. I'd love to see Black Swan. I'd love to see Black Dwarf as well.
Me too.
But they just, they're not it right now. So hopefully this is kind of the phase one of, more Black Order in the game, I hope.
Yeah. I think so too. I think people, as usual with the nerf, everybody's going to run away and cry and not play them. But then, somebody will start playing around with it and try to figure them out. I'm just taking a look at what else. Cosmic Ghost Rider's in the list, but
he's still good. But Ebony Moore is great. They're still good. I think Black Swan is a bit slept on.
But she needs her gem is the problem, and then
in Black Order, I don't play Black Swan under Professor Xavier. I think it's great because he basically gives her a power gem in the leadership. But my Black Swan, the model of Black Swan is ripping a Sentinel in half. Mine, so I've got that. So make her X-Men themed. But so I think the Black Order, they're great. I think they're very thematic. Their models are crazy. Like, look at that Devastate Intellect trigger on Supergiant. It's like crit, wild, hit, skull, and you just KO a character. So they're wacky. And I think they could do with getting a bit less wacky, more good. So maybe that'll happen. But I think that if you were playing Thanos Cabal and you're enjoying it, I think switch over to Black Order. You'll have just as much fun. Corvus and Proxima, that husband and wife ability they have where they can immediately activate Uptra is so strong. It's one of the strongest things in the game. It's insane. You think going 3 wide is a problem now. Try going effectively 2 wide with those guys because of husband and wife. You get to compress your activations.
Let's talk about that. So Thanos is going to be 8 threat with the gems, right? And then Corvus with his gem is going to be 5. So that's 13.
Yeah.
And then Proxima Midnight is 3. So that's 16. That's a perfect 16.
Yeah. And what a coincidence, Norbert, because the current thinking is that with the new Crisis cards, 15 threat is going. So 16 will be the new 15, and Black Order are primed for it. Look at that.
17 becomes a bit of an issue, but 18 is you just dump Nebula in there and you're good to go.
Yeah, Nebula or Bullseye. Your favorite 2-threat murderer.
Yeah.
And then 18, you just put everyone's favorite murderer. 18, 19, you put Zemo in.
Yep, Zemo
and
1.
20, you put Killmonger in. You can still do all the horrible stuff you were doing in Thanos Cabal. It's just, this one's just branded differently.
What is Supergiant? So Black Swan with the gem would be 5. Corvus is 5. That's 10, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, you can't play. It starts to eat. You want to play tall anyway, so you don't want 4 characters. But so it's 8. What did I say? 18 points for Black Swan, Corvus, and Thanos. Interesting.
It's tight, but it's always going to be tight. When your leader is effectively 8th threat, it's always going to be tight, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna be set in a few different squads. I think that's why Corvus's leadership is really cool in that he can only be the leader when Thanos isn't around, and I think that's fantastic. It's just that it's a shame that Corvus's leadership is one of the worst in the game. So they need to fix that. Give Corvus a working leadership, buff the rest of Black Order, and that affiliation is finished, if you ask me. That is just a great affiliation, with 2 different ways to play, lots of flexibility, lots of cool characters. So Black Order.
Yep. Okay. Let us go on to the next kaiju that got touched, which is Thor 2, also known as Thor, Hero of Midgard.
Dude, people say kaiju a lot. Right. Do we need to explain what kaiju means?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
What's a kaiju? From pop culture? No, but what's a kaiju?
It's a reference to those big monsters that would be in Japanese films, like Godzilla, King Kong.
Is Godzilla a kaiju himself?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that he fought kaijus, but that doesn't make any sense. Like Mothra is a kaiju, right?
Yeah. What about the turtle that used to spin as it flew through the air?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
There's fun fact for the listeners, by the way. Not many people know this, but in Dr. Norbert's past career, he was actually a kaiju stuntman. he was the guy in the suit of the big
Yeah.
kaijus that were fighting Godzilla. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a real bitch trying not to step on the things you weren't supposed to step on and step
Yeah.
on the apartments that you could. Yeah, the
Yeah.
direction was rough.
Oh yeah, they draw little X's on the ones like step on these, but not
Yeah.
these. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the tail would be swishing behind you.
Yeah.
That's why I gave up the job.
Yeah.
It was just too much. It was
Yeah.
just too much.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. That's
So
what you got your PhD in, isn't it? Kaiju fighting. No, a real
Yeah.
doctor. You're just doctor of kaijus. Anyway, so we use the term kaiju in MCP to describe a big, horrible, high threat creature.
yeah, and Thor 2 qualifies. He's 6th threat.
Yes.
And he was causing a lot of problems for us, even this past weekend. It was the last hurrah for him, basically, at this tournament, the throwing dice tournament, and I had to play against him with Inhumans, and it was pretty awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah.
I was playing great, too. I played so well, and if Ulik hadn't shit the bed more than once, it would have been a different situation. But man, he just did not come through for me, Ulik.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened to Thor? Well, first of all, his main builder attack, which is Odyssean's Ire, it used to be range 3 and 7 dice for 0 power. And now it got changed to just range 2 and 6 dice instead of 7 dice. Everything else stays the same. So it's a builder, as I mentioned. Plus, if he gets a wild, he can lightning arc to enemy characters within 3 of the original target, and they all suffer 1 damage. And then if he gets a wild and a hit, he can also push the defender short. So that's that. And I'm going to say the other part straight away, Jimmy, so we can, because I think they connect somehow. The other part that changed at him is his active superpower called Have at Thee. This is where he can throw himself medium, and he doesn't suffer damage from it. It's basically pounce. He doesn't suffer damage when he hits, but he is size 3, so he's going to be causing 4 damage to the target. That the change is that it went from 3 power to 4 power. Now, keeping in mind that he's Asgardian, which meant he always got 2 power at the beginning of the power phase. This meant that he usually was able to walk up at round 1 and hit somebody straight away on the midline because he had the range 3 attack. And once he did that, he would at least generate 1 power, usually more. And that means that he suddenly had his Have at Thee online, and he could pounce into that target or another one. And then if he really was lucky, which was often the case, he'd have enough power to actually do his throw, and so throw some sort of terrain feature into the target, which meant that pretty much anybody was dead who was on the midline.
Yeah, it wasn't uncommon for this guy to activate and daze or KO 2 to 3 models every activation.
Yeah. So now he can't do that. So he will have to walk 1, unless he gets power somehow. Like he could still do it in Humans, for instance. He would have to delay his activation, 2 activations to get power from 2 different characters and do it. But otherwise, he's going to be like every other character, basically. He has to double walk to get to the middle, or if your target's on the middle, he can't just hit them straight away, which is the big difference. Yeah, and it's also not as easy because he's got 6 dice instead of 7. Still, 6 is pretty juicy, but 7's better, obviously.
Yeah, sure. It's it means he needs a bit of help now. Yeah, because before, so I've been running Thor in Sentinels. Because my God, Sentinels need a bit of help. And it was great because I could just put him on a deployment on a flank on his own. It meant he could move once, attack someone on the midline, and then if he deals just 1 damage, which was then on a 7 dice builder, he could then pounce himself, Have at Thee, onto the midline, probably into that person as well. So he was completely self-sufficient and dealt damage on the way in. And now he can't. Now he needs help. What I like about this is that it still works with Loki, an in-affiliation leader for him who can use Go Forth on him to place him 2. So
Loki
he can
2, you're talking about.
Sorry, Loki
right?
2, yeah. Loki 2.
Yep.
So he can, I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure with a place 2, he can then move once and still attack the midline.
Sure.
Which is nice. It's an in-affiliation fix for it, Like you mentioned in Humans and, like Professor X, affiliations that can throw power to him, will help. So this softens the blow a little bit. I think when I first saw this, I was like, oh my God, they've buried him. Like he is so much worse now. But I think actually looking at it, it's not so bad. He just needs a bit of help. And he isn't just going to go crazy on round 1 anymore. Not on his own anyway.
Right.
which is
Yeah,
nice.
keep in mind, because just like you say, so now second round, he's in the mix.
Yeah.
Okay. He's still got quite a bit of movement capability in terms of his pounce. Because it's a medium throw. It's not even a short throw. It's a medium throw, and he's on a medium base.
Yeah.
I still think he's going to be mixing it up quite, certainly on a central scenario, and causing problems.
Definitely,
it's just not straight out of the box. Before, you couldn't hide from it was the problem. Not only on round 1, but thereafter. It was just, range 3 is a long way, and then if he throws himself medium, which is more or less range 3, he could touch anywhere. He could touch anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And it didn't take much for his builders to go off and go crazy. I think now that like round 1, his worst activation is just going to be that he double moves to the midline and does nothing. But because he's Asgardian, he's getting 2 power a turn. So then on round 2, he's starting with 4 power. So he's on the midline now, and he has his pounce immediately available. So I think he's still going to feel like Thor. He's still going to get that crazy turn where he pounces himself into someone, does a couple of builders. But the builder being range 2, that's the biggest nerf here, I think. That's a big hit for him. But it just means that he has to be, positioned a bit more cleverly, and just chuck Loki with him and move him around, It feels a bit more thematic, right? They have to work together now to get your Thor to feel like Thor.
Yeah. And, keep in mind, he's 6 threat, which of course is a lot of threat, but he's not 8 threat like Thanos or Dormammu. He shouldn't be as good as those characters necessarily. I think that's been part of the point.
Yeah.
And now, like you said, you just kind of think about how you want to use him and use him more sparingly. And that means that other characters in the affiliation might start showing up into rosters.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
People keep talking now about using Lady Thor as the leader with Thor 1.
Yeah, people are talking about Thor 1. I don't know about that. That feels knee-jerk. Because people are scared of nerfs, right? When a character gets nerfed, they sort of run away from them, like you said earlier. And I think that Dr. Voodoo is a character that has shown us that shouldn't happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Voodoo was nerfed pretty heavily, and nobody played him for ages. And now people are bringing him back. And we had Joe Manji on, right? Joe Manji on for a Patreon episode, who basically won the Mutant Weekender with Dr. Voodoo in X-Men,
Yep.
So I think, don't let nerfs scare you off too much. I think Thor is still incredible. And you just need to get him in the mix more. And if you play on something like Intrusions, right, where you can teleport around, range 2 won't matter because he's just going to be in range whenever he wants to be, right? And or take characters that can move him around. Heimdall can do that, right? Loki. There's Rainbow Bridge. There's a bunch of Asgard affiliated stuff that
Rainbow
can help
Bridge.
him get around.
Yeah. He still has Odin's blessing in affiliations, so he's not going to get easily killed. I just think you need to start actually playing Asgard instead of just pointing and clicking this guy around.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think I'm going to keep him in my Sentinels list and just accept that he can't do everything from round 1. He just needs a little bit of help. Maybe I'll bring Silver Sable back because now I know that she can move Thor around. Maybe she can help.
Good point.
Yeah, I think he's still great. And there are people that are saying this nerf isn't enough. Because he's lost 1 dice on his builder, which means he's effectively rolling 2 less dice, which mathematically transfers to something like 2 less damage a turn. And the problem with Thor is that he's doing like 6 damage too much per turn. But I don't know. He's still got to feel like Thor, right? And it's the same thing with Thanos. I like getting beaten up by Thor, because it's like, well, at least it's thematic. In a world where I'm playing Sentinels, Thor should be, tearing their heads off. So, I would say, I think we're both on the same page here, right? Don't get scared off by the nerf. I think he's still very, very, very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just think through it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, the last part that's changed sort of with him is that the card that he was very commonly seen with until recently is Brothers in Arms, which is where him and Beta Ray Bill would play the card, and then as long as they couldn't be thrown and placed?
Thrown, advanced, or placed or something,
Yeah, from each other. And so long as they were within 2 of each other, they would have enhanced and more extra dice in their energy attacks. So they have more dice in their attacks.
Yeah.
And so that was extremely bad when Researcher and Brothers in Arms were not restricted. And now they've decided to keep Research Station restricted, but they've banned this Brothers in Arms card altogether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think we saw this coming, right? It's been restricted for a while. and it was a very rude card. And also, I think the problem with it was when it got activated. So you can just, it wasn't like at the start of the round you play it, you know, and then your opponent has a chance to kind of separate, because they only get the extra attack dice when Bill and Thor are stood next to each other. So your opponent gets a chance to try and separate them. It was just like, they're together and I'm going to play it immediately. And I immediately get this benefit, you know?
Yeah,
It
right.
was just sort of, there was zero counterplay. It wasn't very interesting. And it just made Thor go absolutely nuts. So, yeah, they've gotten rid of the card, which is a shame. But fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, one of these like fun thematic cards. And it, you know, if it would tone down, it'd be okay. But I guess it's more of a nuisance to try to balance that than not. And so they just dump it.
Yeah, I love team up cards, and there's very few good team up cards in the game. Like, I love the Wolverines card, where you can have Logan and X-23 next to each other, just go crazy. But it's just rubbish. Most team up cards are terrible. This one was too good, so now this one's gone. It's just a bit of a shame. Like, I hope they make good team up cards, you know, one day that are really fun to play.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, just to what should I do next? I'm going to leave the last one for. I'm going to do two small changes. One is stealth. Stealth used to be always written out as a superpower, so you'd say stealth, and then it explained to you how stealth worked. Now they've just moved that rule to the rule book, and so you just have an innate superpower now that just says stealth, and you're supposed to know what that means, basically. Yeah. Which I think is just to help clear up some card space, basically, for the same thing that appeared rather frequently in the game.
Yeah, a lot of characters have stealth. This annoys me, right? Because I assume this is going to get rolled out. You know, whenever characters' cards get changed, they're going to add stealth now, and they won't be superpowers, which is good. I like that. But characters like Storm are often referenced as characters that have stealth, but it's like special stealth.
Super stealth.
Super stealth, yeah. So Storm has
Where is no? Oh, it's Goddess of Storms.
Goddess of Storms, which just says characters must be within 3 of this character to target with attacks. So it is stealth, but it's not called stealth. The reason why that matters is because characters like Daredevil, who ignore stealth, it doesn't work on this. So Storm still gets stealth from Daredevil. Now, I like that because
me too.
I think that's thematic, because her Storm isn't stealthy because she's stealthy. She's stealthy because she's in a storm.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the whole thing. And also, while I'm at it, the leadership, you know how everybody gets a reroll when they're outside of 2, when you're under Storm? It's because she's making the map all foggy.
Yeah.
So you're like fighting in fog. I think that's great. I think that's really cool. And I don't think that Daredevil could see Storm in the middle of a storm. I don't care how good you are.
No, I agree. I heard some people complaining about this as well and saying, why don't they just make all this stealth? It'd be much easier, blah, blah, blah. No, the whole point of this is that she's got something a bit better than normal stealth.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Absolutely. I think the reason that this is a quality of life change is it's so frequently found in the game to have to reprint that and waste space on a card.
Yeah.
It makes sense to move it down but it shouldn't limit their design space to never have these like super stealth type of abilities. I think they're good.
I definitely agree. And like Cassandra Nova has telepathic cloak, same thing. So Cassandra Nova has stealth because she's doing some like mentally psychic stuff, right? So that wouldn't work on Daredevil. Daredevil wouldn't be able to see that. So yeah, I agree with you. I hope they keep the flavorful ones. And then I like the stealth keyword change for everyone else that is just like a bit stealthy because they're wearing black or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, one more keyword was added, similar to Peerless. It's brand new. We haven't seen it yet in the game yet, so it's clearly something coming up. But it's also perplexing. I don't quite understand it. Maybe you can help me. So it's called Reserve, and it says this character cannot be included in rosters, is never deployed at the start of the game, and cannot be put into play by effects that not specifically name this character. Now, the only thing I could think of, like some people saying this is about grunts, and no, grunts have their own set of rules. This one, all I could think of is transformed characters. Like you can't, for whatever reason, you can't put in like Diamond Emma first or something like that.
That's a good point. Yeah, no, that is a very good point. Actually, I didn't think about Emma. Yeah, because she has a whole different character card. So you can't put Emma Frost Diamond form to the card in your roster. Yeah, so Ant-Man's slightly different because his other transformation is on the card. Same with Miss Marvel. Do you know what I mean? So it's all one card.
I see.
Emma is 2 different cards. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's a good contender for who would get this rule. There's also Iron Man Hulkbuster.
Yep.
So when Hulkbuster dazes, he becomes little tiny Iron Man that pops out, and that's not a character that you can have in your roster. So that would be another one that would be in reserve.
But do you think that's what this rule is about?
I think so, yeah. It's a character that won't go in rosters and can only be put into play with special effects. So I think the effect would be put a reserve, put the Iron Man Hulkbuster character that's in reserve onto the field.
So do you think this is them just correcting a technicality that most people knew that it wasn't supposed to work this way?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd be curious to know, like, because you could put Iron Man Hulkbuster in your roster, and then you could do something like cloning banks to bring in that character. Like a character that shouldn't be there, really. And I mean, hey, we've got Phoenix coming down the road, right? This feels like it would be on her card as well, because they've already said that it's sort of a transforming character-ish. So I think it's safe to assume that you have like Jean Grey, and then she transforms into Phoenix, and you don't want to you don't want players to be able to put like Phoenix, in their roster and then cheese it in the game somehow.
Yeah, right.
There's the helicarrier terrain rule as well, which no one plays, but the helicarrier terrain rule where you get a character from your roster out, so you could just have a roster filled with these weird transformed characters. And be like, bah, here's a random Phoenix that's come in. So I that's my take on it anyway. I could be wrong. I think that might be what they're going for.
Okay. All right. Well, time will tell. Hopefully when that kind of character review comes maybe later this year. We don't know that for sure, but yeah. Okay. Now, the last item that we're going to talk about, and one that is going to be near and dear to your heart, is they finally changed how My Hellfire Club works.
Yes.
And the way it works is basically exactly the same leadership as before. The big difference is that instead of taking any character she would like, she has to now take it from a list, a proper affiliation list of characters.
Yes. I didn't think they would make this change. This was the change that everybody wanted. And I thought that we were just wishful thinking because, people love affiliation lists because it just feels really thematic, because they're just full of a bunch of characters that might be in Hellfire Club. But I'm glad they made this change. The card isn't restricted anymore. And this draws full circle to a conversation you had with me on the train once, Norbert, going to Stockport, where I was like, I wish they would nerf Hellfire Club. It's so boring to play. And you said, well, you should play them and you should write a blog about it. And then you'll bring attention to it. And I did. I wrote a blog about how boring they were to play, and that I won an event with them and it felt really bad. And then people gave me shit. But it was good advice from you. So this change is much needed. They should have had this a long time ago, to be honest. But now it's here. Do you want to go through the affiliation list?
Yeah. I should also mention the leadership card used to be restricted, and they've removed that restriction now, which kind of makes sense. But there you go. Right. So here's the list. It's Angel, Archangel. And if you want to hear how those characters work, feel free to listen to our episode on them, although we didn't talk about them in Hellfire Club.
Nice plug. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Then we have Cassandra Nova, Emma Frost, of course, Magneto, Mr. Sinister, Mystique, Omega Red, Psylocke, Shadow King, Storm, and Sunspot.
What a random assortment of characters.
That is exactly what I'm going to say. Exactly. I mean, the only connections really is Angel and Archangel, because they have that card that kind of connects them, maybe. Maybe. Can he use that one where he turns into Archangel? Is that unaffiliated?
That's unaffiliated. Fallen.
Yeah. So there's that. Characters you don't see very much of is Mr. Sinister, Shadow King,
Omega Red. Yeah, which, to be fair, I don't know anything about Shadow King. I'm sorry, I can't comment on him. But Mr. Sinister and Omega Red, extra power, extra healing on both those characters is amazing. So actually, I think that could be quite good. I hope they find a home, because those characters never see play.
No, and I think you're referring to Omega Red anyway, in that he's got a cool ability to hurt like everybody in an aura around him, but it also hurts himself.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So having some healing from the leadership could help mitigate that problem.
Yeah, and also like Hellfire, the characters they bring are like tanky characters that are good at displacement, and Omega Red has a sizeless displace for 2 power, which is great. Like medium too. It's a really good ability, and he just needs some extra power generation to help get it, which Hellfire gives him. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so to remind people, the Hellfire Club leadership is if you're standing on a secure or holding an extract, when you trigger the leadership, that person gets a power and removes a damage.
Yes.
So who would benefit from that? So Storm, for instance,
character. So sorry, there's an addendum to the leadership. So the leadership can be basically played at any point during a round, once per round. So the thing that you do with Hellfire, which I used to do, which was the crippling thing, is you basically get lots of characters that have 3-cost superpowers, because you get your 1 power from round 1, you stand them on a secure, you use the leadership round 1, so they are now on 2 power, and then round 2 starts, and then straight away in round 2 you use the leadership again, so they start the round with 3 power. So characters 4 power, sorry, yeah, because they get their 2nd power. So characters that have 3-cost superpowers are really strong here. Because they can grab an extract and then have 3 power in round 2. So Storm is a good contender for that, because her throw is 3 cost.
Right. What about Sunspot?
He's all 2 cost powers. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about Sunspot. Cassandra Nova doesn't have a 3 cost. Well, she does with the root and slow thing, but Cassandra Nova's whole thing is she wants to do the 1 cost, what is it? Mind possession to advance you, and then advance you to within 3 of her, and then do psychic distraction, which is like tricks and traps. That's her little combo, and that costs 3 power altogether. So that's nice too.
Yeah. Just
Magneto has a lot of problems, but extra power and healing are neither of the problems that he has. So as cool as he is, I'd love to see Magneto on the table again. I don't know how much use he'll get in Hellfire Club.
Yeah. I mean, all these characters you don't really see anymore, which is interesting. So somebody clever out there may be able to unlock this affiliation, but it's going to take a little bit of time and playing around with it to try to make this happen, because none of these characters seem very obvious, at least in the way that she used to be played.
No, for sure. And I think you're still desperately splashing your Lizard and your Rhino and your Beta Ray Bill, to just use the
yes, that's
probably.
A really good point, actually. Yeah.
So you're still splashing them. So yeah, I think this could work. I mean, I'm currently on my hunt for, I want to get best in affiliation in as many mutant affiliations as I can. So I'm going to wait a year for the old Hellfire games to drop off, and then I'm going to go for it with these guys. But the fun thing here is that now we can start speculating about which characters will be added to this affiliation. You know what I mean? So it kind of changes it a bit. Hellfire can become a little bit more exciting, We've got the Brotherhood box coming out, which has 4 mutants in it. One of them is Lady Mastermind, who has ties to Hellfire Club. So that could be a thing, So it's fun. It's a new life to the affiliation. It is far weaker than it was before, because before it was take Emma Frost and the 9 best characters in the game. So yes, it now functions as a proper real team, and a proper real mutant team, which means they suck for the most part. So you can try and find ways to make it work and get excited about future mutants that might be added. Why are you looking at Shadow King's card?
We have to make Shadow King work. His model is so cool.
Yeah, he has one of the best models in the game. He looks awesome, especially yours. Yours is amazing.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. But I think so too. It really came out nice.
Yeah, it's great.
I wish I could play him. I'm just looking at his card now. So 3 power, he could remove 3 damage from himself for that. Once
that's
per
cool.
turn. Yeah. He can cast his Astral Fiend, which is a projection token within 3 of him. And then you could measure range off of that token instead of him.
That's cool.
Yeah. Nightmare Visions is 4 power, but we said he'd have 4 power round 2.
Yeah.
And when a character ends an advance within 3 of this character may use the superpower, roll 3 dice. Oh, this is not so good.
3 dice? Is that what it is?
3 dice.
What the hell?
Oh, God. You can take a damage for each crit and wild in a result.
And then move short. Okay.
And move short if you deal damage, though. So, I don't know about that one.
Wow. And then the passive, Omega level multiversal entity.
Oh, he just gets an extra power. Okay, so you have loads of power. Yeah.
You have loads of power. I mean, that's kind of cool. And also healing 3, by the way, in Hellfire.
Yeah, that's good.
If you don't daze that guy, he's gone and he's full health again.
Plus, he gets a healing off the leadership as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
I think that's actually fine. Yeah, I mean, the problem is you move short, and Hellfire want fast people to run around with points. But I mean, maybe you double move him up to grab an extract round 1. Then the leadership will trigger. Maybe he takes a couple hits, and then round 2 he runs to the back and heals himself for 3 and heals off the leadership. He's full health again. That could be kind of interesting, So he's sat at the back holding an extract, and then he's got his Astral Fiend projection token where he's attacking from there. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on.
Yeah, his builder's not bad either. It's 6 dice, range 3. It's got a wild root. Root is really good.
Yeah.
And also, if he deals damage, he can advance the target character short.
Yeah.
So
You know
he's
what?
definitely got some problems.
He's actually got a lot of what Hellfire want, to be fair. Got some healing, got some sizeless displacement, right?
Mm-hmm.
He
Yep.
can stand at the back. Yeah, I think, maybe we should try him. Maybe we should try him.
Yeah.
And by
Especially
I mean whoever decides to play Hellfire now.
All right, that's it for all the changes. This all goes live, like we said, on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. It's a love gift from AMG
Lovely little love letter. Yeah.
to the community.
Yeah.
So tell us in our Discord how you're finding the changes once they become live. I'm sure that people are practicing them already anyway. So tell us what you feel. So how do they get hold of us there?
You can go to our Discord, which is linked in the description of the thingy that you're currently listening to. Be across the Bifrost Discord. You can go to our Patreon as well. If you like what we do, you want to support us doing more, then go on our Patreon. We're currently saving up to get Norbert a new microphone.
Wow. Why? I mean, do you think the depth of this radio voice needs better equipment?
That's just what you keep talking about when you talk about the Patreon. You want to get a new mic. We'll get you something.
Okay.
So there you go. But thank you. And obviously the point of the Patreon is that we put on kind of meta relevant stuff on that Patreon. We interview people that have won events as soon as they've won as soon as they won the event, so that it's the most meta relevant information that you're getting. And then eventually they all get released publicly across everything else. So if you can't get on our Patreon, you'll still be able to hear all that stuff eventually. So don't worry.
All right, cool. Looking forward to seeing how everybody's playing the game differently now. And until next time, thanks for listening.
Bye.